10, 9.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
Get ready for two guys who can't handle the truth.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But we can. Dave Palumbo, Chris Aceto. RxMuscle.com presents Heavy Muscle Radio. Watch out!
Welcome back to another episode of Heavy Muscle Radio. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, for the 10th year in a row by Chris Aceto. And it is January 21st, 2019. It is Martin Luther King Day, Chris, and which means nothing to you or me because we work every day, right?
Well, every day I work, but it has some meaning to me as a civil rights advocate and black wife and Muslim and all those quasi-weird things about me.
Quirky things about you.
Yeah, so, you know, it's an important day.
It's funny, but, you know, it's the only holiday in January, which I think makes it special, right? I mean, but yet, isn't Black History Month like in February?
I think, yeah, February is Black History Month.
Which is, you would think that January would be Black History Month if they're going to give Martin Luther King, you know, and celebrate his birthday in January.
Trump wants to shrink it down to Black History Week, but we'll see.
But you know, it would make sense that Black History Month would be, you know, coincide with the Martin Luther King holiday. Wasn't I don't know if this is still the truth, but didn't they not celebrate Martin Luther King Day for a while in the South when they first started it?
That wouldn't surprise me.
I thought they were celebrating Jefferson Davis Day for a while, weren't they? No, I'm serious. I really think I think that they were refusing to celebrate Martin Luther King Day. Then I think they made it a national holiday, so it didn't matter anymore.
Yeah, you know what? I think you're right, actually.
People are nuts, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I would have taken a day off. You could have given me the Shah if I
like
ran.
I
would have taken a day off for him.
Yeah. Anything to get out of school. Teachers workshop day. Snow. You know, we would have snow days in Maine.
Yeah.
So get to take off school.
We prayed for those snow days because I would go out and shovel snow and make money on those days.
Oh, it's Dave. Come on, dude. It is. Do you know I was like snow shoveler extraordinaire?
Me too. Do you know that I still have the business card that this guy Benji Diamond and I made? We were partners. He lived down the block.
Post it up on your Instagram.
I'll take. It's on my my mother-in-law found it in one of my files. She put it on the microwave oven. We used to take. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if you had it in school. We had print shop. And we had to
we didn't have. We were.
This is before printers. You know, you'd have to lay the print out. You'd actually have to take these little metal things. I've told the story before. I know I have. I'm not going crazy, guys. So you used to have to take these little metal like printing press things, and you have to lay out the whole card. Like in other words, if you had to have a space, you'd have to put a spacer in there, and basically you'd lay the whole card out with these little metal things. Each letter had its own little metallic thing, and then the press would press those metal pieces against the ink, and then it would put it on the card. And it was a manual printing press. It was like, I don't know why, because this was the 80s. They had to have, you know, mechanized ones, but we were using ones from like, you know, remember when speaking of Martin Luther, remember when the original Martin Luther posted his his protests,
his disagreements on the door of the Catholic Church.
That's right. That's the printing press that we used. The same one that they used to make those. What was it called? I can't even remember what that was called.
What Martin Luther had put on the.
Come on,
on
you
the
teach homeschool. You homeschool, yeah.
I know, but you know what? Well, no, homeschool's over with now. They're in high school and junior high, so
that's maybe
they're out of my hands.
Yeah.
I got my. You know, it's funny. Anyways, I got my son. Teachers call at me now, and one is saying, "Wow, you must be the greatest homeschool of all time." The other one said, "Did this kid learn anything in homeschool?"
Okay. He's probably. What did they say that you?
Which one do you think is the better looking one? Where the one where the teachers say, "Did he learn anything?" He's got too many distractions here in school. I knew he'd have those distractions.
That's funny. So what were
girls,
they? What were they? Oh, it's girls. That's that's usually what happened. What were they impressed with that you taught him?
Well, the 13-year-old first, he knows how to deal with people innately. I mean, he can make anyone feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure teachers admire about him his demeanor, which they've commented on, especially on how to make kids who other kids would make fun of feel comfortable. Because he's very comfortable in his own skin, so I know he knows how to make other people feel comfortable. But, you know, he, like, aces math. His English grammar is, like, perfect.
Right.
He's exceptional in art. He's good in sports. Which, I mean,
all stuff that have
teacher-
nothing to do with school, yeah. But
Science. No, he's great in science. Math, science, and English.
all right, turn that phone off.
Well, that was my
kidding.
alarm clock
Oh.
to
wake up to do
that-
the radio show at
to do the
3 in
radio
morning?
show at
Yeah.
3 in the morning. Yeah. I told Dave you wanted to do the radio show.
Chris, like, I'll
early.
sleep first, and then I'll wake up and just tell me
Yeah.
when you want to do it. I said, let's just do it. I have nothing to do anyway. I was playing with the kids all day.
Of course you were. I told you I'm jealous of your pool, even though you'll never use it.
You know, the funny thing about my pool is they just framed out the whole thing. And they put the rebar in there. And I've been doing a little, like, Instagrams on it. And I've gotten one person who contacted me who's, like, he's a screen expert in the area, by the way. Everyone's in the area. He's like, I do screens in the area. He's like, who do you use? I'm like, I'm using Sunset Pools. He's like, oh, the Southern's going to do your screens. But, you know, I can get you a better deal or if anything breaks. And I'm like, oh, great. And then another guy contacted me. He cleans floors for a living. He always contacts me, this guy. So he came by and gave me a floor cleaning estimate. So me putting up things about my pool brought a lot of experts in the area over to me. I can't remember if the guys. If you're listening, there was a guy who watches the show who says he owns his own oil, like 10-minute oil change place, and he said he'd do a free oil change for my car. And I actually need to get my car's oil changed, and I can't remember what his number was now. So if you're listening, contact me again. I appreciate whenever people offer stuff, for me.
Was it freebies?
Yeah,
what other
freebies
things
are
you
great.
need done in the house?
Freebies are good. I don't even want freebies. I just want people to do good quality
Lawn
work.
cut or.
Her friend does the lawn, but we pay them and everything like that. I don't like to take anything for free, although once in a while I don't mind like someone being
Nothing's for free. They want something in return.
Maybe, but you know what? I don't care. I don't mind giving information out. A lot of times it's just me providing.
I know, but they want something. They want something that they want like 40. They'll cut your lawn and then they want 40 tubs of Fiberlize.
Right. I'd rather pay. Yeah, and that.
No, it's cheaper to hire someone to cut the grass than they give them
right.
40 tubs of Fiberlize.
That's right. My wife's cousin has been coming over with his son. And they've been helping me clean snakes on the weekend, and I'm like always trying to pay the kid. At least I want to pay the kid. He's 10 years old. Give him some money so he can buy some stuff. And they're like, no, we don't want any. We're just coming to help, and we're learning about because we want to get snakes, and we want to get a couple snakes, and so you're teaching us. I'm like, all right, apprenticeship, right?
Why not?
I forgot what I was saying now. I got completely sidetracked.
I don't know. We were talking about homeschool. We were talking about Martin Luther King. We were talking about the printing press that you invented
I
at
know.
school. The pool that you'll never use it. I was jealous, but I do realize that you'll never use it because
I said that. My wife and my kids will use it. I just like what I wanted. I like looking at out the back window and knowing it's there. I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. Look how nice it looks. It's screened in lanai.
I knew it, Dave. I knew it's nice to look at. Well, the water's nice to look at.
Yeah, no.
Listen, I lived on the beach for years.
Never went in the water, right?
Never went on the beach. I mean, and people say like, oh, you go on the beach, and I'm like, I went on it like 4 months ago, and they'd be like, why don't you go on the beach? And I'd say, well, you can see it from every window. So, I mean, what do you need to go down on it for?
That's right. Yeah, I used to just, my house in Seaford, I was on the water. When I first moved there, I was on the jet ski every weekend and everything, and then I was like, I have no time. But I like the fact that I can just look out the window, and you used to go out there and drink your coffee.
I used to sit on the deck, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice just to see the water. I think it's just soothing, and it kind of just...
Yeah, but after a while, if I lived in that house, I'd go out on the deck every day for like the first 60 days, and then after that, I'd keep the blinds shut.
Yeah. You know who? If my father would have lived in that house, he would have been out there every day. He would have been on the deck every day, writing,
drinking his wine,
right? Yeah, he would have
collaborating on his work.
Yeah. If my father was such a pain in the ass, I would have moved him in. But forget it. We would have. When
I had the place at the beach, my father and mother used to come out. And my father used to sit on the deck and drink wine, and my mother would sit in the sun all day long.
That's nice because it's like you think they're getting used out of
Yeah.
it. You're inside probably doing work on the computer.
Yeah, but this,
At least that you're like, at least someone's using it.
that's exactly. I'd be holed up in the smallest room in the condo with the blinds shut and just like doing stuff.
And you feel good. Wow, look at my parents having such a good time out there, That's how I will. My kids will be out there in the pool. Man will be in the pool. I'll be like, at least they're happy. I can go inside now and do some work,
No.
I can distract them a little bit. I'm full of shit. I'll probably be in the pool. I'll probably go in there. I'll start getting into swimming, probably, knowing me. I always get obsessed with something new, and I'll start doing like laps and stuff. I'll start with one. I'm like, I just want to do one lap. Now that I have shoulders that work,
Just gonna say, you get the shoulders. You can kick with one leg until you get the
That's
knee
right.
fixed.
That's right. That's right. That's what
Unless
I'm
you put on
thinking.
the fins. Fins can really make you.
Yeah.
You convince yourself you're good swimmers.
I know.
Fins under swimming is like D-ball is to training.
Yeah.
Getting a good back workout.
Yeah, my defibrillator will go off because I'll raise my heart rate too high. While I'll shock everyone in the pool. So yeah, that's the next. With the project is the pool now. So they've done a lot already. They dug a lot of it. I'm shocked, and it's actually pretty neat back there. They didn't really make too much of a mess. They only broke one sprinkler line, which is not too bad. And my kid, Logan's all excited about it. He wakes up every day. He wants to go see what's going on with the pool.
He wants to investigate.
Yeah, I don't. That's the only thing that we're a little worried about is obviously the kids. They put the safety gate around the pool too. So if the kids get out the back door, at least they can't get into the pool. It's locked. But that was always a concern. But we thought, all right, the kids are a little older now, and then we went and we got now we have a new one coming. So
Yeah.
but I think that I think Logan will become a good swimmer if he's got a pool in his backyard. I could do some. He doesn't listen to me anyway. I was gonna say I'll get him swimming. We'll get him in good shape, and I'm like, he'll never listen. He'll do whatever he wants anyway. We got the big deck. They have the sun deck in there, so they can play on the sun deck. It's like only like a foot deep or 2 feet deep or something like that. So that seems like this way the kids can stay on there and you can kind of keep an eye on them.
It's gonna be crazy. Keep an eye on them. Right? 3 little kids running around.
I know. It's crazy. My wife was like, where, you watching Aria? I'm like, yeah, oh, yeah. She in 3 seconds, she's like out of my line of sight already,
Yeah, I told you I've lost one in my house before where I literally couldn't find him. I was like just praying he didn't go out the front door.
I love it. So
the pool's gonna be done when?
The pool's going to be done when the pool's going to be done. I don't know.
So you got construction everywhere. You get the pool. You got the pool going, right? And you bought the property next door.
Yeah. So what I did was I got all those pavers. I don't think anyone even gives a shit about this, but you do. So I'll tell you. All the pavers in my backyard, I had them stack them on pallets and put them in the other property, so I can. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to probably sell my pavers that I'm getting rid of.
Of course they will.
So I'm going to use the pavers over on the new property. I'm going to try to build like a little
Fire pit.
No, I hate fire pits. I think we're gonna, how like my backyard has a steep decline down to the water.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna build like a steps that go down so you can walk down like actually pavers rather than like a dirt pathway down to the because there's a dock on the property next to me. It was like grandfathered in years ago. So
does that dock go out to the ocean?
It goes the dock's in the in that canal back there, which is big.
Yeah, that canal. Where does that canal go?
It
is that
does.
A river or is
it does connect somehow to the Gulf. I don't know how, but it's. I don't think you can take a boat through there because I think there's at some point there's a bridge like you can't get through or something like that. But no, I'm not going that. I wouldn't go that far anyway. But it flows, which is nice, and there's lots of alligators in there, so there's wildlife in there. Yeah, you feel like you're in the wild there. It makes you feel good. Actually, across the street in the backyard, across the canal from me, there was they got peacocks. I think the guy had the peacocks he had babies. There's like 1 million little baby peacocks running around.
Are you kidding me? I don't even think I know what a baby peacock looks like.
They don't have color yet. I guess they get the color as they get into adulthood. They get the big green tail, and the males have the long tail. The females are they don't have they're a little more less spectacular.
I did see that Delta Airline, one of the airlines, it was maybe in the last year, they wouldn't let a guy on the flight. He had a emotional support peacock.
No, he didn't. Did he
Yes,
really?
he did.
Oh,
And
my
they
God.
let dogs and cats on, but they didn't think that a peacock, even though I think the guy had the license, showing that it was his emotional support animal, they didn't let him on.
Wow. Wow. Shocked. Never heard of that before. Mike O'Hearn has the emotional support. No, his dogs are work dogs, right? Or he takes them to kids' hospitals or something like that. I think that's, I believe so. That's his reason for having, because he can take his dog on the plane. The dog sits in first class with him.
Well, people do this to me all the time. Do you take dogs in your apartment? I'll say no, and then the minute now I always say yes.
Why?
Well, because when I say no, you know how many times people
Oh,
have
they
said,
come with your
I'm
notes?
going to sue you. I said, well, you didn't tell me it's an emotional support dog because you can't discriminate versus an emotional.
But why can't you say I don't want pets in my building? What's the difference?
Because you can't discriminate against someone who has a medical condition that
what's the
requires
difference? What if you don't like the person? You know what? I just don't like this person. I don't think they're going to be a good fit for me for the building.
Yeah, well, that's an easier way. You just, you find out, yeah, go see it, and then you just tell them, yeah, we found someone better.
Right.
Which is usually the case. You find someone with the same, quote, credentials, but no pet.
No baggage. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to rent. You should be able to. If you only want to let Pakistani people live in your apartment building, I mean, why shouldn't you? You own the building. You could do whatever you want. It's not. It's not government
because
housing.
we have Martin Luther King's birthday. In other words, because
it's not government housing.
I
You're
know,
not
but
an equal opportunity.
You
You're
can't
not
discriminate.
Yeah, but you can discriminate whoever you want. If you want to have all Pakistani people living there, then
The
fine. If you want to have maybe you want to have all Australians
place you can
living there.
discriminate. The only place you can discriminate this day and age is at nightclubs.
Can you?
When people are in line.
Yeah, you can let whoever you want in.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Should be able to
But the big thing now is everyone's smoking pot. Everyone's smoking pot these days. So, this is a big problem with for landlords.
I didn't think about that,
you have somebody on floor 1,
and then people complain about the smell.
smoking on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night.
Is it legal in Maine?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's legal, and these little pot shops are.
You should have.
Everywhere.
Why didn't you have Jay hook you up with with a pot connection? You could open the little store with him in Maine.
You want to know something funny?
What?
I had this. There was a tenant of mine. I met him when he was 13, and he was the smartest 13-year-old I ever met.
13-year-old.
I'm serious. It was a family who lived in an apartment, 3-bedroom apartment. He was the smartest 13-year-old I ever met. And I used to talk to him like I'm talking to Jay. And, turns out he had a paper route before elementary school when he was 8.
Wow.
And he used to do the shoveling and all that.
Yeah, he was a go-getter.
So not only does he own tons of property now, maybe now he's probably like 24.
Oh, he
25.
invested all his paper route money?
I don't know how he got all the apartments, but he's got them.
Maybe he was selling cocaine while he was delivering the papers.
Well, his brother, maybe he got it from his brother. His brother was into the pot business like way before, people were doing it. He had a little pot farm out in, I think, California or Utah.
Right.
So maybe his brother was partners with them.
So that's where he made all his money. Now he owns all this real estate from that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it's Bitcoin. I think everyone's jumping in. Everyone wants to sell me CBD. That's the new thing. Cannabinoid oils and vape pens and pills. And they're like, you got to get in. You put it in all your products. I'm like, but why? What is it going to do to my products if I put CBD into my protein? I mean, who needs?
You don't get what happens. Do you get when you get high, or is it just is there a medical?
They're like, no, you don't get high. You just get like a relaxation. It's who knows? It's lowest cortisol. I don't know.
Tell me you have 3 kids. You can't relax ever, so you have to really smoke.
No, they're like telling me you got to add it to your product line. I'm like, how is that going to help me sell more product? Well, it's a fad right now, and everyone wants it. I'm like, I don't do well with selling fads. I just don't.
Yeah. That's not you.
I just can't do it. I'm not like, you know how like these people, they'll set up a business in like 3 days and they'll be cranking out like CBD, you know, this CBD, that.
Yeah, and then they're bankrupt in 2 years or 6 weeks.
Yeah. Or they make a fucking shitload of money in 6 months and then they're out. You know, I can't do those businesses. They're
Remember
too
the
stressful.
supplement? Who was the supplement company who signed up all like LeBron and Sean Ray, and they didn't even have any products?
Oh, that was Gear. Yeah, he did that several times. Several times he did that, Pete.
They were gear. They were sponsoring athletes. They were
Yeah.
sponsoring.
He did that to me.
bodybuilders.
I was the first athlete. In 1996, they had a company, Huge Nutrition. That was Pete Scalise's first foray, and he contacted me.
I'm
and
willing
he
to bet
signed
he's
me.
in pot now.
Yeah, he should be. He should probably make more money than that. He's the greatest. Pete is the greatest idea guy of all time.
Well, you know what? There's something to be said for ideas.
Yeah. Oh, that's why he'll always make money, because he's always got the greatest ideas. He doesn't usually carry out the plan so well. He's got to sell his ideas. I told him, I said, stop trying to open businesses. Just raise the money, sell your idea, and get out. I said, because that's what you do best.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
No, I know those ideas, people. They're full of ideas all the time, but it takes a lot of work to
every
implement.
idea he tells me, I'm like, holy, that's a great idea. and I don't say that to people. Come to me with ideas all the time, and I'm always like, it's a terrible idea. You're gonna lose
Yeah.
your money. You know how many people come to me like regularly and say, I want to start my own supplement business, or they'll even pay me like to do a consult with me, to talk to me, for me to talk to them about the supplement industry and what it takes to get in there and what the process is. And I'm always like, guys, you're not going to do anything different than anyone else. No one knows who you are. You got money. You're going to blow that money in 6 months, and then you're going to have no money, and you're going to have
Just
no
tell them to give
business.
you the money, and you can be an investor in speeches, and then they can feel like they're in the supplement business.
Yeah, I don't want any more. I don't want any more investors.
No.
But yeah, but you know it is, because people think it's easy. I mean, there are some people that do it and make money because they find some kind
It's
of a niche
nothing
for
easy.
themselves, and they do it through social media. But even then, if you don't have like a substantive, if your line is not like something special, eventually people get bored of what you're doing, and they're just like, this is crap. This is nothing special. It's like everything else. I just kind of was into the whole branding they were doing, and now I'm going to find someone else to do, and then there's nothing there. You know, it's like, as my dad would say, I always use this expression, paper mache, right? It just kind of falls apart.
Yeah.
But that's business. But there's people that create themselves and are very successful. Look at the Dana Lynn Bailey and Rob Bailey. I mean, they created that clothing line, you know, on a whim. They had no money. They were just kind of broke, and they were just like, well, let's just do this. It's fucking lay it all on the line type of.
Yeah.
And they put the clothing out there, and people fucking just liked the fucking slogan, and they liked what it stood for, and they bought the products, and you know, made a lot of money for themselves. They're still making a lot of money, so they found a niche for themselves, and they were cool about it. You know, I wish I could be as cool as them. If I could be as cool as them, I'd make a lot more money. My problem is I only appeal to the people who like the truth.
Well, you know,
and that
I mean,
stuff.
you're cool in your own way.
Yeah, I have my own.
You're cool enough.
Yeah. Like I say, as long as you can keep doing something positive and creating something new, and people can relate to it, then that's great. You don't have to relate to the whole world. You only have to relate to a certain subpopulation of the world. And
True.
You know, you and I have our own little fan base, and this one has his fan base, and that guru has his fan base, and that's why everyone can make money. There's plenty to go around. I don't have to make $20 million. You know,
19 million is
19 is good enough. I play. You know, I've been playing the lottery. I told you, because I have this like
Yeah, you did tell
this
me.
premonition
Yeah.
I'm going to win. I hit 3 numbers out of 6 on the lotto, and I won
halfway
$5.
there.
I won $5. Yeah, so I'm closing in on the $1 million mark. I won $5. I thought that was pretty good. I said, well, 3 numbers is pretty damn good. Now I just got to get 3 more in the same game. Now my conundrum is should I play the same? Should I change the numbers now? Because now I'm like, well, I already hit those numbers. But then I'm thinking, it's the same odds. I could hit the same 3 numbers again. It's the odds are the same. So I'm not.
Well, you know how many
changing my
people who
numbers.
have won, like when they just have the machine pick it automatically.
Yeah, they say though that this statistically, I was talking to, you know, there's these lottery experts, you know, who go in there and buy their lottery tickets every day. And I never ask anything. I just buy my ticket, and everyone's always offering me. They're like, you're picking your own numbers, right? I'm like, yeah. They're like, don't let the machine pick the numbers. They never hit. I looked at the win. There's like a statistic showing you how many people who win are winning with numbers that the machine picked, and it's a very low. It's like 10%. So pick your own numbers. That's my lotto wisdom of the day. I feel so inadequate buying lottery tickets. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how many. I don't even have any numbers to pick, and I'm asking like the clerk. I feel like a guy who just walked into the gym for the first time in his life. And
well, those are the luckiest people who don't know what they're doing, right? You just play, what do you play? The birth dates of your wife and your
I
son?
play birthdays and stuff like that, and all the crazy numbers. And I pick a couple random ones. But the funny thing is that now I'm doing it for a little bit. I'm catching on to the lingo and everything like that. Like I don't feel quite as inadequate when I go in there and buy my tickets now. So it's funny. It's just funny though, because some of these people they're like experts, and if you ask them a question a lot, some of them like to tell you they like to educate you. Some of them are just like like they're disgusted by the fact that I don't know all the lottery etiquette and rules that go along with it. Unbelievable. So here's the question: when you put the pool in, do you clean your own pool, or do you have someone come and do the pool?
I'll have someone come do it.
That's what I said.
Don't even get into.
I told my wife. She's like, "We can do it. It's not
No,
hard."
you
I said, "Who wants to be bothered? Just let them do it. It's not even worth it."
No, because they'll drive you crazy. The filter will break. The water will be green. It'll be too acidic. It'll be too basic.
I mean, I could do the chemical part because I did fish tanks and everything like that, but I certainly don't want to get in there and have to clean the side of the pool or whatever they do to get the algae off, or if there is algae. I don't know anything about pools. I'm like completely pool ignorant. I'm fish tank very knowledgeable, but not pool knowledgeable.
No, you don't want to do anything. It's just like me. I had to put up blinds the other day. It drove me nuts. My wife called me. She said, "You sound like you're having a breakdown." I said, "I can't get a blind down."
My wife gets upset. She's like, "Oh, well, don't you want to do stuff?" I'm like,
No.
It's cool to be able to do it, and I'm sure if I had the time to spend learning to do it, I can do it. But it's not worth my time to waste. I'd rather go answer 100 emails. You know what I mean?
Who is the guy on Shark Tank? The guy who sits Robert.
Yeah,
Robert?
Yeah, Mr. Wonderful.
No, not Mr. Wonderful. The guy with the full head of hair all the way to the right.
Yeah, all the way on the right. Yeah.
He says his father taught him that to have everyone else do the work for you.
It's true.
His father taught him just hire the best people, or like you said before, the best people with the ideas, and then find the other people who can take those great ideas and follow through with them.
The funny thing was his father was an immigrant who was a hard worker, who was like I think manual labor.
That's right.
He wanted to get his son to be better than him, though.
Yep, and he said you got to be able to recognize good ideas and then find the best people to bring those ideas to fruition.
I agree.
I mean, you're not going to build your pool, are you?
No, that's why I hired him. I wish I could find some people to work for me with that who would be that talented.
Oh, good luck.
I have a couple. I have Sid and Tyler. They're really good. But you know what I'm talking about. It's hard to. I can't even get someone to. My wife and I are trying to find someone to just work QuickBooks and enter orders, and we can't do it. People miss orders all the time. They don't come in. They quit. It's nuts. It's very hard to find good helpers. Anyway, there's a blood moon tonight. Do you know what a blood moon is?
It's probably like it sounds like a moon that turns red.
Yeah. The reason it turns red is first of all, turns red. Yeah, it's going to be there's a lunar eclipse. Now, a lunar eclipse as opposed to a solar eclipse. Lunar eclipse is when the Earth is between the moon and the sun. So the sun is shining on one side of the Earth, not our side, on the other side, over in Australia there. No, we're on the other side of the globe when we're in darkness. And the moon is in our sky, but the Earth is completely blocking the sun from hitting the moon. So you get like this red halo around the moon. So it's a lunar eclipse that they call the blood moon because of the redness that's being projected around it. And supposedly it's pretty spectacular. Obviously we're pre-taping the show, so it hasn't happened yet, but I think Tyler, my video guy, is going to be. He has this new camera. He's like all excited about it. He's going to be filming it. So if any good pictures come out, I'll put them up on our Instagram account so you guys can see the blood moon. We actually have good skies for moons in New York. The skies suck because Long Island is surrounded by water. Out here in Cape Coral, even though there is water around here, for some reason the sky is always so clear. You can see all the stars and all that stuff. I imagine it's probably better up there in Maine.
To see the stars is incredible because there's no population in Maine.
Right, and there's no smoke, but it's probably freezing to death out there at night, I'm sure.
Well, I walked to down the street tonight in the dark to a Thai restaurant.
Ooh.
I almost froze to death.
Nice. You
And
have
they
a Thai
said, "What do you
restaurant
want?"
in
I said, "I
walking
want the
distance?
hottest, spiciest meal you have."
I'm getting flashbacks. You know what because we don't have to, because we can't go out to certain restaurants. They're too nice, those Thai restaurants.
With the kids?
Yeah, they get
You
too
can't
crazy.
you can't take.
So I buy these Amy's frozen meals. They have Amy's makes these Thai like red curry, green curry. So the extent of my Thai food ingestion has been relegated to frozen meals. Although I will say the old what were they called, TV dinners when we were kids?
Yep.
The TV dinner market has become quite sophisticated nowadays.
Oh yeah, it's gourmet.
Yeah, you can get some great stuff out there, and you can get healthy stuff too, which is nice. So I go to I'll go to the supermarket every once in a while, and I'll stock up. You know, the kids eat it for lunch and sometimes dinner, but you know, I get the good ones. They're like $5 meals, you know, $4 meals. They're not like the dollar meals, and it's just easier to cook sometimes. But yeah, sometimes I cook too. I have I switch around, and you know, we have pizza night. I've become a real family guy. You know, we have pizza night one day a week. We'll order Domino's or some crap. You know, I wind up eating all the pizza anyway. I eat the whole. But Amanda has one piece. Logan has half a piece. My daughter has probably almost a whole piece because she eats more than him. And then I eat the rest of the pie usually over the next couple of days. Actually, I'd like to eat it all in one day, but then I'm worried about diabetes and all kinds of too many carbs in one meal. I'm trying to live a long time. Everyone's been telling me, because I've been teasing. I said, "Oh, if I ever try to make a comeback, I could gain 35 pounds or I could gain 50 pounds in 6 weeks." I'm convinced of it. Everyone's like, "Come on, do it." I'm like, no, I don't need to. I might just try to put some muscle on, but I'm not taking anything. I'm gonna do it natural. I'm gonna pull one of those. I'm gonna pull Mike O'Hearn. I've been natural for 4 years now, so I might as well just continue and say, all right, naturally, I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna train. I'm gonna eat a little bit more, and I'm gonna see how much muscle I can put on. Just doing it naturally with supplements. That might be something I'm willing to do. Just to show everyone that if you eat right and you train, you can gain muscle. I'll take before and after pictures. Although I'm horrified by I'm horrified by the way I look, but that's all right. I'll take the pictures anyway. I don't care. So did you see? There's this guy Larry Wheels. We've talked about him before. Larry Wheels is like I would say he's the strongest guy on the planet. You know, for his body weight. This stuff he does is nuts. If you look at his Instagram, he just does the most insane lifts. He's so strong, this guy, that he was deadlifting the other day. He was like deadlifting like, I don't know, like 800 pounds with like chains on him or something like that, and his chest started bleeding. Like blood was running down his chest. And people were speculating all kinds of crazy stuff, as you can imagine. So I'm like, you know what? I have Larry Wheels' cell phone number because I interviewed him. So I texted him. I say, Larry, I hate these fucking social media morons. I said, what was running down your chest when you were training the other day when you were doing those crazy heavy deadlifts? He's like, oh, I had like a couple like pimples on my chest that just exploded. I guess from the from 800-pound deadlifts. I guess the think about the pressure.
The pimples, yeah.
They just like literally it was running down, like blood just running down his chest. But it wasn't. You could tell it came from like one little area. So I'm sure people were thinking, oh, it's juice and stuff like that. He was, injections and stuff like that. But it was in his chest. It wasn't in his ass that was running down. So I thought it was pretty funny. But I said, yeah, I figured that's what probably happened. He's crazy, though. There's a picture he took with Arnold. Arnold's got like a beard. He really resembles facially of Cedric McMillan a lot. I'm sure you've seen the picture.
Yeah, he does.
I'm wondering if Arnold thought maybe it was Cedric when he took the picture with him. Right, because Arnold doesn't take pictures with a lot of people, And
no, but he's out there. He's out there. It's funny. He's somewhere. He's very active this week, Arnold, because someone sent me a picture of himself
Yeah.
with Arnold.
Oh, really? Like it's
Yeah.
the gym or something?
Today, yeah.
Well,
So
Arnold doesn't really do much now, right? He's doing a couple movies, but he's at Gold's Gym all the time, right? I heard.
yeah, that's where he was.
He rides his
He was
bike there
there.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, they came out recently. I think he's worth like $300 million or something like that. Didn't they just recently?
Well, yeah, they haven't finalized the divorce.
Oh, they haven't.
No, they're still married.
I didn't know that. That's why he's worth. So
I
much.
read that in the promoter of the Mr. Olympia's official magazine, National Enquirer.
Then it must be true, right? I read that stuff in the supermarket. My wife's just like, Amanda's like, "What do you? And you believe that?" I'm like,
Oh yeah, totally. I believe it. Yeah.
I said, I think that's the only magazines that are really tell the truth. Those magazines. You have to make sure you read the fine print there, but I think most of the time they're pretty accurate because they would get sued otherwise. No one sues them. Once in a while you get a lawsuit again. They get a lawsuit against them, but I think that their information is usually accurate. They use very biased pictures, obviously, to try to get you to open the map. I can't put those things down. I am always in checkout. I'm always grabbing something and looking through it, and I'm always like, why did I bother to look at this? It's just bullshit. Brad Pitt back with Angelina Jolie. She's pregnant. I mean, Brad Pitt back with Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, this stupid stuff like that. It's not true.
I read that Ramy's back in Oxygen in National Enquirer.
I heard he's back with Dennis James. Yeah. So someone emailed me the other day and told me, it was yesterday actually, and told me that they're like, congratulations for being the Fit Gems Nation Trainer of the Year, male trainer of the year. I'm like, what the fuck's this guy talking about?
What's that?
I don't know. So I go to Instagram. I'm looking. I put Fit Gems Nation in the search, and they have a Instagram account, and they did some kind of, I don't know, best trainer of the year, best this of the year, male, female, best magazine, best supplement. I don't know. They have all these superlatives. Somehow I won. I don't know. I didn't know I was even in the running. I don't even know who voted for me. But I guess thank you. I'm the Fit Gems Nation.
Did they send you a medal or something?
I don't know. I'd like to get something. I don't think. I always said I would never win anything. So for me to get anything is monumental. Because I always piss everyone off.
You'd be happier with being Snake Breeder of the Year.
No, I don't even care. I don't need awards. But it's funny because I just think that I would never get any awards because I'm not politically correct. You and I are always saying the wrong things about the wrong people. So if you want to win awards, you have to either buy the awards for yourself or you have to kiss a little ass. And I don't kiss it. I always loved that the Woody Allen would never go to the Academy Awards when he won all those Oscars back in the 70s. Remember that?
Yeah.
He would just miss it.
Why wouldn't he go?
I don't know. He was against it. He was like protesting.
I think it was the degradation of his artwork.
I don't know what it was. I bet you nowadays he collects his awards, but maybe not. I don't know. He back in the 70s he won a lot. Annie Hall won Best Picture. He didn't go. But he won Best Actor, I think, once. He didn't go. Best Director. He would never go. I don't know. It's like Boston Lloyd, right? Didn't Boston Lloyd said he wants to turn pro and then turn the pro card down. That's the only reason he wants to turn pro.
But then it'd get it, and people would chide him, and they'd say, just do one show, one show. If you get in like a battle with someone, it's okay, I'm going to do the one show.
Yeah, I said, good luck trying to win after putting that information out there. I said, you should have kept it to yourself. And then if you actually did get your pro card, which is questionable, I said, then you could just do it and shock everyone. But I guess he'll just say anything that's controversial, so I'm sure that's why I said it. So let me see what's going on here. There's nothing really going on.
Well, it was 6 weeks out from the Arnold.
Yeah, that's true. People are starting to get excited about it.
Are you going?
I don't even know. I contacted a couple our sponsors. People that are going to sponsor. If we get a sponsor, I'll go. I won't go to the Olympia this year, which is unfortunate. But that's the birth of my daughter, son. We don't know what sex it is. Everyone's telling me I'm having twins. I'm like, thank God that you guys don't run the ultrasound machine. My sister called me up. She's like, I had a dream you're having twins. Amanda's cousin said that. You said it. I don't believe it though. I'm not having twins. But
I said it. Yeah.
You said it like right away.
Well, I said it. I guessed when you said you're never going to guess, and I said your wife's pregnant, and then I said twins.
Right.
I think then you got really scared because I guessed the first part right.
Yeah. So I won't go to the Olympia because it's going to be like around that same time. But the Arnold I'll probably go to, assuming that, like I said, we have a sponsor. I like it now. I'll tell you why, because now they have it all in one place. I used to go years ago, but I always hated that you had to run from the convention center, over to the Veterans Memorial and then back, and it was easy when it first started because first of all, everything was actually in the Veterans Memorial when it first started, but then they split it, and it became a real pain in the neck because you can't get a cab. It's freezing there. Now I don't think I even go outside anymore. I don't think I ever actually walk outside the convention center building. We stay at the Hyatt Regency there. We walk down the steps. We're at the show. We walk down another couple steps, and through the expo hall, and we're in the expo. So I mean, it's kind of pretty convenient in that sense. So that I like. That I like about it. It makes me want to go there. And they obviously Bob Lorimer and the crew are super, open to letting us do whatever we want, pretty much, which is great. But although the last couple of years they haven't really let us backstage, they've been a little weird about that. But they have a press area set up on the side, that's what I've been telling them to do in the NPC for how long now? How many years?
A decade.
Yeah, they still haven't done it. I don't know why, but obviously, I guess everyone's actually going there. I mean, William Bonac is the defending champion, but I think everyone wants to see what Cedric McMillan is going to do at this show. I really think that this seems to be the show he always seems to peak for early in the year, and he's won it before. Arguably, he theoretically beat Kai Green at the show also. He's not getting any younger. He's obviously in his 40s, but what's his name? Sean Roden's in his 40s too. He's Mr. Olympia. Do you think? Obviously, you don't work with Cedric anymore. Not that I know of, at least. Do you think that Cedric could win this show?
Oh, without doubt. Without doubt.
Mm-hmm. Will the Cedric that we know or we've seen at the show show up again? Is it? If you had to give odds on it,
I think you'll see the best Cedric ever.
Really? Okay. That's cool. I like that. Obviously, like I said, Bonac, I would think, and Ruli Winkler would have to be, the two favorites, only because they're the highest placing Olympians right now in the lineup. Are you working with Rafael Brandeo again?
I'm working with Rafael. He looks very good.
Okay. And I see Brandon Curry in the lineup, of course. Very dangerous. Charles Dixon moving up from the 212 into the open. Probably be a big mistake for him, but we'll see. Steve Kuklo in the lineup. Josh Lenartowicz coming back after taking off 2018. He could always be a wild card guy who's very dangerous.
He's Josh Lenartowicz. The judges will like him because he's big and dense
and wide.
I was just going to say he's wide, which will mark my words. That's a knock against Bonac. If Cedric at his best, and Lenartowicz at his best, odd man out is Bonac. And Bonac is a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal bodybuilder. Mm-hmm. But if they're all close, it's not going to go to the shorter guy who's not wide. It's going to go to the wider guy who's still big with his, big for his frame.
Yeah, and Ruli Winkler's big for his frame too. So I think,
and I didn't get to Ruli.
Yeah,
but so that's how I think that will go. I mean, or could go.
I see Victor.
It's a very good lineup.
Yeah, Victor Martinez in the lineup. Luke Sando, who you're working with, I know.
Yeah, looks very good.
We just saw him recently. He was down in Boca.
Training with Flex.
Well, I think he went there more to see Aaron because he works for.
He did actually.
Redcon 1 now, yeah. So he was down there, and I know he was hanging out with Flex Lewis, training at his gym. Saw the pictures; he looked really good. Keem Williams in the lineup. You never know which Akeem you're going to get. Obviously, Oscar's still working with him, so we'll see what he gets. We'll see what he brings to the stage.
Yeah.
The first time Oscar worked with Kai Green, he brought a very good Kai Green to that Arnold, and they won. So you never know. Yeah. And then, of course, Ruli Winkler, who might be the most dangerous guy in the lineup. Now I'm going to give you I'm going to quiz you a little bit.
Go ahead.
On your Arnold, your historical Arnold knowledge.
Okay, I'm no Lonnie Teeper, but I'm still
right.
employed by the.
Who won the not the first? Because we know everyone knows Rich Kaspari won the '89 Arnold Classic. Who won the second Arnold?
89, 90. Oh, that's easy. That was Mike Ashley.
Right. Sean Ray was disqualified, failed the drug test. Sean really should have won that show, but whatever. Sean won the following year. And then in 92, who won?
92. Okay, 94 was Levrone. 90.
She got this.
Oh, wait a minute. 93 was Wheeler.
Right.
94 was Levrone.
Right.
92. 92.
You know, 95 was Francois, and then 96, Levrone came back and beat Wheeler again, and then Wheeler won 2 in a row. So who
Wait,
haven't
what
we
year?
mentioned?
92. Let me think.
Great routine. The routine is really what should make you remember it.
Well, that could. Let's see. If there's a great routine, it would have to be Vince Taylor. But
Right. Yep, you got it.
was it Vince?
Yeah. Vince
Did he
Taylor.
win it?
That was the year he won it, yeah. With that Terminator routine.
Oh, that's right. He was in good shape that year.
He was great that year. Great that year. Who won it 99?
1999 was Nasser.
Yes. Yes, Chris, thank you for remembering me for a change. No one ever brings me up.
People mad that we're making fun of him, and I think we in a way we're honoring him, but maybe it is we're belittling him. I don't know.
No one remembers. Actually, when they had that reunion.
If
remember?
I was blonde hair, like Jay Cutler, I'd be
Yeah.
14-time Miss Olympia. Jay speaks one language with an accent. He's dry, no humor.
Nasser actually was the only guy who didn't come back. You remember they had that like 25-year reunion or something like that, and they actually brought in all the former champions, and this was when Nasser was still alive, and he didn't go. I don't know why he didn't go. He was supposed to go, and he didn't show up, and no one really knows why. I don't know if he got sick or something or what, but that would have been nice to have seen him one more time up on that stage. But who won in 01?
2001. Let's see.
Oh, you should get this in 3 seconds.
Coleman.
Right. That was the 1 year. The only Mr. Olympia. Well, I guess the only Mr. Olympia who's ever won the Arnold, right? Jay won
Jay
it.
Cutler.
Jay, yeah. Sorry.
Wait,
He was the only
Dexter,
Mr. Olympia who did the
risked
Arnold.
it. He risked it.
He did the
Meaning-
Arnold, yeah,
Yes.
while he was Mr. Olympia.
Yeah.
Dexter has done it, but Dexter. Oh no, well, Dexter wasn't Mr. Olympia though when he won the Arnold,
Correct.
so that doesn't count. So only Ronnie did that. How many times did Jay win it?
3.
Right.
Three
How many-
straight. Three Hummers all sold before they.
The fans probably knowing him.
No, I mean he used to get the Hummer, collect the Hummer, and he'd collect the. Well, here I'll put it in perspective. He won 3 straight 3 Hummers, and then he gave it up because he wanted to focus on chasing Coleman down.
That's right, which is smart, I guess. I thought it was a bad move on his part, but I think it was in hindsight, it was a good, great move.
Yeah.
Who else won 3?
Well, Dexter won like
Arnold's?
20 of them.
No, but we know Dex has the record with 5. But how many? Who else won 3 Arnold Classic? Only one other person.
Got to be Wheeler.
No, Wheeler won 4.
Oh, who won 3? Well,
Won
if
3.
he won 4, then he won 3 also.
I know, but who won 3? Only like Jay won 3, and then there was another guy who just won 3.
3 in Ohio?
Mm-hmm.
In Ohio.
Yep.
Did we say Dexter? Oh, no, he
Dexter
won.
won 5. Dexter has the record.
Dexter has 5.
Yeah.
What a
Flex has
freak.
4. Dexter beat the record.
I better post something nice on Dexter's Instagram. I always, let's see, 3 Arnolds.
Yeah. It's a tricky one because it's going to throw you off because he won 2 and then he didn't do it for a while. Then he came back and won another one.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me think it through. So we did 90. We did. Okay, let's see. We did.
Come on, you know it. It's you're going to kick yourself for not knowing.
I think I got it. I just want to lose. I feel like I'm on like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Let's see. It's 2002, 3. Can't be Cormier because I don't think he's won any.
No,
he's been second like 8 times.
Yeah.
Let's see. Not Nasser. Not. I'm trying to. Branch Warren.
Nope. 2. He won.
I know he has two. I don't know who it is.
Kai Green. He
Did
won
Kai?
09, 10, and then he came back and beat Cedric in 16.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
I knew you were going to... It's hard because you don't remember.
It's hard because he beat Cedric on the routine.
You know, but you know he won that one, but you forget that he won two earlier in his career.
Listen, I have snippets for you. Who were the two? Jay put an end to Coleman's reign, which people didn't think would happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Roden put an end to Phil's reign.
Right.
And I was helping those guys. Jay beat Coleman in the prejudging and the finals at the Olympia in 2001. Got it?
Yeah.
And he lost the show. Cedric McMillan beat Kai in the prejudging and the finals at the Arnold Classic in 2015.
Is this like Lincoln and Kennedy?
Yeah. I mean, it's bizarre, isn't it? I mean, how can the... Yeah, it is. How do you lose... Right? That's the big question after those shows.
How did Jay lose if he won both rounds? Did he
because
lose
they counted the routine,
which Coleman's horrendous at. Yeah.
Yep. And they counted the when they do at the end, quarter turn down. To the right, quarter to the right, and then the pose down, not like the pose down, like everyone pose down. Where they do the one more analysis, the front double,
gotcha.
Side chest.
So he lost it at the very last minute, is what he said.
Yeah, it was at the last minute.
Well, the payouts this year at the Arnold are $130,000 for first place, $75,000 for second, $50,000 for third, fourth is $30,000, fifth is $15,000, sixth is $10,000, and then everyone else, seventh through 10th gets $2,000, and everyone else gets $1,000, which is kind of nice. And then they've named, I guess, the Best Poser Award now, the Ed Corney Best Poser Award, I guess, in honor of Ed Corney, and that's $10,000. So that's
Give
nice.
me the rundown again for first. How much?
$130. Second is $75, and third is $50. I think the Best Poser Award for $10,000. If I were in that lineup, I would be really working on my routine. I can't imagine Cedric not winning that award. Can you? Who else is going to do a better routine than him?
I mean, if you do Cedric, the audience likes breakdancing and high kicks and crap. So.
But I don't know if there's anyone who in the lineup who does that kind of stuff. Do they?
I don't think so.
I don't think Josh Lenarnowitz is doing any split on stage, is he?
No, he's too basic hardcore for that. The only split you'll get is
I know Lionel Baiki can do a little bit of breakdancing up there, but I don't know if knowing him, he probably won't be in shape. But and Arnold, Arnold loves Cedric's routine, so you never know. That would be nice, to extra $10,000 put in his pocket.
Yeah.
So so it's getting exciting. Obviously, it's time to get the Arnold going. Prejudging will be Saturday, March 2nd, 12 noon, 4 p.m. It's usually like 2 o'clock, isn't it? I think they're making it earlier. Finals will be from 7 p.m. on Saturday night to 10. So that's my Arnold preview there. We just did. I like that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. There's only 13 guys in the whole lineup. That's perfect. Perfect. 12 to 13 people is perfect because you can really analyze these guys. You can really compare them. You're only going to have 3 call-outs essentially, in terms of, and you'll see every guy. I'm going to do more than 3 call-outs, but you'll see in 3 call-outs you see everyone. It's not like you're waiting for 25 call-outs to see all the people pose like in men's physique. This is a great lineup. It's exciting to watch. You can analyze every single competitor and you can break them down because there's not that many of them. And
yeah,
I don't want to leave out Mikhail Volinkin too. I'm sure he's from Russia. I mentioned everyone else. I didn't mention him. He's in that lineup too. He could be for all we know, he could be a dark horse and shock everyone. Right? It's possible. Possible.
Shock people based on his condition, maybe. Who is he really?
We'll find out. Everyone starts somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So I interviewed Franco Santoriello this past week. The interview will be up probably this coming week. And I really never had talked to Franco before, although I remember seeing him. He was probably the only pro bodybuilder that was ever in a national commercial that aired everywhere, right? I mean, that Cybergenics commercial.
Cybergenics.
Yeah. His story is unbelievable story. He was a full-blown like drug addict his entire career. He's another one who took, when he won the Nationals, he took Winstrel. That was it. Winstrel V. That was his site.
When he won what?
The Nationals.
I don't believe that.
I don't know. That's what he said. I don't see why he would lie, but that's what he said. He said that also. He told a great story. You'll like this story. I don't want to give away the whole interview. I want people to watch it. It's a really good interview.
Winstrol be like one shot an
hour, or
no?
I don't know what he did. He probably took it every other day. I don't know. Every day. I don't know what he took. He said that's all he used. He didn't use anything else. He never used growth hormone until after he won Nationals, and then he only competed a couple times. His problem was he was a full blown heroin addict, and he was just a wreck. He was spending all his money on drugs, and he would train, and he had one of those just crazy genetics. He said, I just grew. When I trained and ate, he told a story. I'm going to tell this one story just to tease you guys so you can watch the interview, and you'll like this. He won I forget what year it was, he won the Teen USA. I think he beat Eddie Robinson or Sean Ray.
Like he must have been using no Winstrol at that point then.
I think he was natural, he said, when he won the Teen USA. And then the Teen Nationals were 16 weeks after that. That was the big show. So he went back home and he was like celebrating with his friends, going out because I think he was in Jersey, going to Jersey Shore. 8 weeks. He said he didn't train. He wasn't eating right. And Lou Zwick, I guess, was his manager at the time. And Lou Zwick called him up. He's like, "Oh, Franco, how's everything going? You're getting ready 8 weeks out for the Teen Nationals." He's like, "Lou, I can't lie to you." He goes, "I've been partying my ass off." He goes, "I haven't been training. I look like shit." He's like, "How bad could you look?" Now remember, there's no cell phones. You couldn't send it like a text message or anything like that. He's like, he goes, "Lou, I'm terrible." He goes, "There's no way I'm going to be able to do the show. I'm going to get." He's like, "All right." He goes, "I'll call you back." So Lou hung up on him. Lou was the guy who did American. What was it? What was that show?
American Muscle.
I think he did that, and then he also did, what was that series? Muscle Mania. That was his claim to fame. So Lou Zwick calls him back in an hour, and he says, "All right, Franco, this is what you're going to do. You got 2 hours. Get to the airport. I'm flying you to. There's going to be a ticket waiting for you. I'm flying you to Cincinnati. John Perillo will pick you up at the airport. You're going to be staying with John for the next 8 weeks. He's going to get you in shape for the Teen Nationals." He's like, "Lou."
He's going to stack the Captri oil with
he's like, "Lou."
Winstrol.
Right, probably. He's like, "Lou, there's no way I'm getting in shape in 8 weeks." He goes, "I'm going to make an embarrassment." He goes, "Believe me." He's like, "I went there." He goes, he had never met Perillo before. This is when he had the Perillo Performance Center, and he had trainers there, and it was like Oxygen Gym only in Cincinnati. And he said Perillo whipped his ass into shape, and his genetics, the way he responded so quickly, he's like, I couldn't believe it, but my body turned around, and he said he beat Sean Ray at that show, the Teen Nats. And he won the Teen Nationals. I think he might have been the only one to win Teen USA Teen Nationals.
He was a phenomenal teenager, and he was actually damn good when he won the Nationals or USA, whatever he won.
Well, he said for Nationals. So I guess he won the Teen USA. Was that 88 or something like that, maybe? And he like fucked up, and he was like, I'm not gonna. He didn't want to compete again until he felt that he could do well or something like that. But he was screwing around, and then he finally, I guess he did the USA or something like that, the 1990 or something like that. And he came in second or something like that. And then he did the Nationals and was like second or third or whatever. And he's like, well, I get, and he barely trained. Like he said, he just was like, just started training like 8 weeks before the USA or something like that. And he's like, I said, hey, if I can come in second and third, he goes, I probably could win next year if I actually trained the whole year. And he did. He trained the whole year, and that's when he came back and he won. He said, and then he looked, he looked crazy. And that's when, and I guess Cybergenics was using he had done some pictures for them they had paid him for. But they had asked him to sign a release, and he never signed the release because he was like, I was always like, fuck this, I'm not signing releases. So he sees all these, they continually using his pictures like after he won Nationals, and he's like, he went to the guy's house, Scott Chinnery, I guess, who owned Cybergenics.
Yeah.
And he was like in a mad rage. He was like going to rip the guy's head off. He was in his house. And Scott's like, relax. He goes, you signed a release. He goes, I didn't sign any fucking release. He goes, show me the release. And he obviously, Scott didn't have a release because he never signed it. He's like, all right. He goes, this is what we're going to do. So they concocted this whole story that when at this point he was like, I think it had been like a year or 2 years out. I don't even, it was like a year after he won nationals. He was like all strung out. So Scott said, do you have any old pictures of yourself looking like shit? And I guess that's Franco did. And he's like, we'll say that was the before picture, and then we'll say after Cybergenics, when you won the nationals, that they concocted the whole thing. He's like, it was the biggest lie I ever told. He goes, and I regret it more than anything. And he goes, I was a fucking liar. And if you read my book, I even talk about the biggest lie I ever told was the Cybergenics lie. But they were paying him. He gave him $5,000 for the fact that they were using his pictures, and then he signed him to like a $45,000 a year contract or something like that, which was nothing. But I guess back then that was a lot of money, And he was under contract for like 5 or 6 years, and he goes, I didn't even compete. He goes, I was taking all the money he was paying me, and I was buying heroin and drugs with it. I was just fucking getting high all day long. Crazy story. I mean, I hate to, and that everything I told you won't even ruin the interview for you. That's how crazy the whole interview is. That's how you would. It's such a insane story. I said to him, I said, Franco, you sound like you might be bipolar. He goes, bipolar? He goes, I'm the most bipolar guy you'll ever know. My dad was bipolar. His dad committed suicide. He was bipolar. It runs in his family. It was, so, he had a tough life, and then he actually went to jail for 3 years. Watch the interview. You guys are gonna love it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a very good interview because no one knows the Franco story. You only know the story, what you hear, like, oh, he was a drug addict and he was.
So how did your paths cross? So that
he contacted me on Facebook, and he said, everyone keeps telling me what a great show. I got to get on there. I really want to. He's got some new. I guess ministry called Jacked Up for Jesus, and he's going to go to the Arnold Classic this year, and he wants to really give back to the community and be able to I guess mentor people and people who might be in trouble like he got in trouble like he did. He can help them through this, which I think it's great. I think he's like, look, now I build my body for God. I'm not for my ego anymore. And I thought that was a good message. So I said, let's get you on. I said, I always wanted to know your story. I don't even know the story. So I learned the story while I was interviewing him, which was great. I said, don't tell me anything. When we got on the phone, when I got him on Skype to do the interview, I'm like, I don't want to know anything. I said, don't say. He's like, fine. I said, is there anything off base? He goes, you can ask me whatever you want. I said, fine. And that's how we did the interview. I knew nothing other than his contest history. I knew nothing about him. Just what I had heard, and it was a great interview because it was brutally honest, and I think people are going to really love it. I also interviewed Ian Harrison, who I know, who by the way listened to our TV show or the radio show last week, and
I said he might be the best 20-year-old ever, right?
Yeah, and you also said ask him. What did you say to ask him?
Let's see. I don't even know.
You said ask him if he.
That show was 7 days ago. Dave. How did I remember?
Ask him if he ever came in non-flat or something like that, right? Or something
oh yeah, yeah. Did he? I said he came in flat every show.
Yeah, and he said, "Tell Chris he's right." So he listened to the show. He was a great interview too. He was really cool. He stopped competing when he was 28. A lot of people don't know that.
Crazy.
He was a genetic freak, and he felt that the mass monsters were coming in, even though he was a mass monster at 280 pounds.
He impressed the hell out of Bob Gruskin, but go ahead.
He was pissed off. He competed in this one Arnold, and he said, if I don't place top 5, then I'm quitting, because his wife is giving him a lot of trouble. And
right, that show, he might have been not flat. I know what show it was. He was phenomenal that year, right?
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't place higher that year. And I said, why didn't you just stick it out? Dorian was going to, you were right there. You were 28. I mean, you were hitting your prime years. He goes, I know.
You know what, Dave? When you're 28, you've been doing it since you were like 16. Yeah. 28, you feel like
he's like, you know what? I probably would have been great, but you know what? I probably would have been dead too. He goes, I probably would have died, but been a casualty of the sport. He goes, so maybe it was for the best. Franco said a great thing to me too. Franco said, you know what, Dave? He goes, if I would have used the drugs that all these other guys used, and I would have been able to train consistently, he goes, I know I would have been Mr. Olympia, but I'd also be dead now. I know it.
I don't like those little phony predictions.
But you know what? Who knows? But he said, like, I didn't do that, and I didn't follow through. But he goes, I think I had the talent to do it. He goes, it's unfortunate that I couldn't.
Well, wait a
put
minute.
Julio.
If he can win the USA on just Winstrol, then he probably doesn't need all that stuff.
Right, but I'm just, he's saying, in other words, if he would have trained consistently and not been a drug addict, and I said,
Oh,
but that
okay,
was,
yeah.
but-
Well, you know,
but
he was, as teens go, without a doubt, one of the better, if not, I mean, he was right up there with one of the best teens.
Oh, really? Okay, that's. And I don't remember what he looked like as a teen.
No, because you know what he was like him, Sean Ray.
The fact that he was beating Sean Ray just tells you how good he was.
Yeah, no, true. And I would just say him, Sean Ray, and Victor Terra are probably three of the better,
He had Victor Terra, right?
best teens that were just. I've said on the show before, and I would love a photo if somebody could send it to me or send it to you. When Victor Terra won the NPC USA Teenage,
Oh, really?
they let him pose down next to the Open winner, and he smoked him.
Who was the
Ask
open
Jim
winner?
Mannion. Ask Jim.
Who was the open winner?
The guy from Hawaii. The guy from Hawaii's name is really famous bodybuilder from Hawaii at the time.
He won the USA. How come we don't know?
Yes, NPC USA. He was really, really good.
Not
He was like,
he. How can I not know? We know all the USA winners. Who are we not? How can we not know? Who we
this goes way back. What was the first 1982 USA?
is this like a Phil Williams or some of those?
No.
guys? Oh.
Maybe you can
Dave
Google
Hawk?
it. Nope, before them.
Oh,
Okay,
really?
I think that was the first year they had it.
I thought it was Phil Williams. No.
Ernie Santiago.
Oh, Ernie Santiago. So you're saying he should have beat Ernie
Yeah.
Santiago
Absolutely.
if he would have done the Open?
Well, I think he could have.
That's funny.
I've always looked for pictures to like post or something because I remember seeing the
I
picture.
think Jan
and
Mannion probably has pictures of that.
I
Probably.
couldn't believe it, and I asked Bob Gruskin. I said, and Bob's like, yeah, he's. I think Victor might have taken Ernie out that day.
Oh, if we could only get Bob Grushkin to do one final interview,
Well, he's like Woody Allen. He won't go. Woody Allen won't
Yeah.
go to the shows. And,
He went to
and-
the interview. Think about what a great interview that would be if I got Bob. We'd have to.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd have to send Sid to his house to with the Skype connection there because otherwise Bob would never be able to get on camera. Sid would have to be holding his cell phone up to him the whole time. But it would be a great interview because Bob knows everything and he probably still remembers everything too. That's the
Of
funny
course
thing.
he does. Of course he does.
Maybe I'd have to get you and Sid there probably like you'd have to be like egging him on like a support system there.
No.
Chris would have to stay in his apartment for the fucking night. You could bring
wait.
your kids for like a school trip.
We did leave out. I just slighted another teenage bodybuilder comes to mind with this group, Shane DeMora.
Yeah, he was really good too.
He was a really good teenager.
I'll hit you with another name if I can remember his name. Who's the kid? The Greek kid from the Queens. Oh, he was so good. He was like
Greek kid from Queens.
he lost his mind too after winning the teen nationals. That was his claim to fame. He was really good though. My sister
Did he win
went
the-
on a couple dates with the kid. I can't remember his name.
Did he win the teen nationals?
Yeah, he won overall teen nationals.
Okay, let me think it through.
I'm gonna come up with the name.
I don't know. Greek is throwing me.
Why can't I remember this?
What year?
I think I remember. It was probably in the 90s. Now it's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, it's driving me nuts because I would think that would.
I shouldn't have said
He-
Greek because that's going to throw you off. But he was a Greek kid. He
It
was
is
from
from-
Queens. He was from like Astoria, where where all the Greek guys live. Let me see if I can find it. Teen Nationals. That used to be a great show. People don't realize it. There was some
Oh, it used to be
really,
insane.
really good guys. Like people really look forward to that show, right?
Yeah, because whoever won the teen nationals was on their way to the Olympia.
Is that really? Yeah.
Well, you know
Paul
what I mean.
Graffis. I don't think he won the overall. Paul Graffis.
I don't even know the name.
Paulie Graffis, yeah. I think George Betancourt won the overall that year. It was 1990 Teen Nationals.
Oh, George Betancourt was good, yeah.
But he won the Teenage Mr. America overall, Paul Graffis, and then he won the Teen Nationals heavyweight class. He was huge For a teen, he was like off season. He was like 240. I mean, no one weighed that much back then. Maybe today they weigh that much, but he was enormous. He was really good. Good looking kid too. He just
Harold Poole. Whoa, Harold! Look, I'm giving up. Harold Poole was like 19 when he did the Mr. America, right?
I don't know. Oh, it's funny. My good friend Steve DeLuca, 3rd place light heavyweight that year. Chris Bennett won the light heavyweights that year. John Riggins 2nd. Wow, some good. Mike Morris was in the middleweight class that year. Yeah, George Betancourt won. That was his claim to fame, right?
Yeah.
I think George Betancourt made a bunch of money with that supplement company. He had Betancourt Nutrition. I think he sold it. Made a lot of money.
Good for him. It's nice to see a bodybuilder making some good money.
He had a good look. He was very marketable. Paul Grafis, though. Yeah, I can't believe you don't know that. Ask Bob.
I don't know
Next
that
time you talk
name.
to Bob, say,
Yeah, I
Bob,
know
what do you
Bob
think
would
about
know.
Paul Grafis? Oh, yeah, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah,
A little mental, but good.
Yeah, no, Bob didn't like. You know what Bob's pet peeve was? Hated laziness.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, because he put so much into it himself, just helping these guys. That's why. I'm sure Doug. He loved Doug Wentz, but I know Dougie, he parties too much.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I tell him stop smoking all that pot.
That's exactly what he
These guys with the marijuana. Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dougie was ahead of his time then.
Chris
right?
Cormier, I tried to help him. He told me to smoke a joint. I said. Oh, the good old days, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to work on Bob Grushkin. I know everyone out there is probably like listening. It's funny. I always have we have the old timers sometimes. You know, we're the old timers now. I have guys like my age always telling me, "Oh, we talked about." I think it was a couple weeks ago. We talked about the Yonkers, the Westchester, bodybuilding crew up there. Mm-hmm. The Charlie Arms and Fran Volpe and Greg Valentino and old Christian and all the crazy Rob Bassino's gym. They all trained at East Coast Fitness there, and. I got so many emails from people saying, I remember I was in that gym and Charlie Arms knocked out this guy or Fran Volpe, knocked this guy out. And
Fran Volpe, I haven't heard that. That's a Bob Gruskin name too.
These guys, Fran and I used to be really good. We're still friends, but I haven't talked to them in a while. But these guys would fight in the gym. They would knock each other out in the parking lot and then go back in and finish working out. It was a crazy. The Westchester bodybuilding crew was the craziest, I think, of any bodybuilding, crew. I got who I'm going to get on the show. Rob Messino lives literally 20 minutes from me. He lives in Fort Myers. I got to talk him into coming down to the studio. I'm going to get him on the show because he knows all the stories because he owned the gym. Charlie Arms would come down, and Charlie's a really good friend of mine, by the way. But Charlie Arms would come, and Charlie's told me the story too. The delivery truck would come to the front of East Coast Fitness to deliver the drinks. And Charlie would intercept the truck and would be like, all right, fill my trunk with 4 cases of this and 4 cases of that, and then you can deliver the rest to Rob. I said, Rob, is that a true story? He goes, yeah, absolutely. He goes, I said, what did you do? He goes, whatever can I do with Charlie Arms? He goes, I had to raise the price of the drinks to make up for what he had to take, or the skim he had to take off the top. But he said it was crazy. And Rob was crazy too back then. That's when he was younger. He didn't take any shit from those guys, but they would fight. They would be physically fight in the parking lot, and you can beat up people back in those days and get away with it.
Yeah, no lawyers involved.
There was no one called the cops back then. They were too afraid to call the cops on anyone.
Yeah, call the cops. Well, probably now they could just call the lawyer.
Yeah, back then you didn't call the cops. You wound up in the river somewhere. If you called the cops. So that was crazy. There was a lot of talented guys. Angelo Vizella, I mean, him. I'm sure Bob helped him. He was fucking a freak of nature too. That guy. Yeah,
he was phenomenal. Vinny Conzo, do you know that name?
No, but I've heard the name. Yeah, I didn't know him. There was a lot of great guys from Westchester who came out of that gym, and then I think after East Coast, they all went to Yonkers. They had a Yonkers Gold's Gym there, which was a nutty place too. They were always fighting in there. Constantly fights, and I think the 2 brothers that owned the Yonkers Gold Gym were the biggest troublemakers of all. So it was. And I remember when Vince McMahon started that WBF, a lot of the times the guys would come into town and they would go to Yonkers Gold's to train there, and Stridham was always in there, and Jimmy Quinn. And I heard crazy stories about all the the food they were eating and nutty stuff, all the drug cycles they were doing back then, which people thought was crazy. That back then, now it's like, oh, that's nothing. You know?
Yeah.
But they used real drugs back then too. It was real. The steroids were real back then. Everyone thought Stridham was nuts. He was taking 12 IUs of GH a day. They're like, no one's doing 12 IUs. Nuts. Boston Lloyd did his first cycle. It was 12 IUs. So that's, look, all we can do is reminisce. But I think if I get Rob Messina on the TV show, I'd get a good interview out of him. People who want to hear the history of that whole New York crowd, I think, and he probably knew Bob too, I'm sure, because Bob was up in Westchester too. He guaranteed was Bob used to come to his gym probably and shoot guys in the gym, I'm sure. What was the other gym that Bob would shoot people in? What was that?
Pelham Fitness.
Pelham Fitness, right? Metrofit, right?
Metrofit, yeah, Metrofit became, I think, Pelham Fitness was Metrofit. He loved that place.
That was right around the corner from him, and I actually, it's ironic enough, I didn't know Bob then, but in 1992, 1 and 2, I was actually running that gym at night. But I know there was a lot of Bob Grushkin pictures on the wall there, so that's how I knew he had to have been in there, at some point.
He used to go to Bevan Steve's a lot before it became the Mecca, before it became a crazy gym.
Well, in Metrofit was Snake Adger owned that clothing company.
Yes,
and Miriam.
What was the name of the clothes? They made a fortune.
We've tried to figure this out before too.
Yeah. I forget. I can see it right now. Right.
Yep. It was called...
they used to be at the New York shows and just clean up because they were the only clothing people on Earth.
Yeah. It was great clothing because there was nothing like it around.
No. And then Hutskins came in after them.
Yeah, they were really the predecessor to all those crazy...
Yeah, they were. They were the first ones.
Right?
They were before T. Michael.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. Can you Google it? Snake Adger clothing line?
I'm trying right now. I can't remember either. It's driving me crazy. It was like a one word. It was... Someone out there will send me...
Oh, definitely someone knows.
I think he's too old time. I don't think he's even coming up.
It had a cool ring to it, right?
Like Perfection or not Perfection.
Close.
What the hell was the name of that? Dedication? Was it Dedication?
Dedication, that's it. You got
oh my
it. How'd
God.
you get it?
I couldn't find it.
You won the $1 million. How'd you get it?
Because I worked
How'd
there.
I remember?
I was in the store every day for like 3 years, so I actually saw it. There's actually I Googled, there was one picture came up of Tonio at Snake Adger at the Limelight Muscle Opera 1984. Brian Moss, I think, held it. It was like some kind of like Broadway show they held, just bodybuilders posing. He had a great physique. He was like a Rory Liedermeyer, right?
Oh, he had a tremendous physique.
Yeah, he was big even when he was back then, but he was always trying to make a comeback, and he never really can get it together. I don't know what his problem was. He was always like, yeah, I'm going to come back. And I was always looking at this guy's muscle bellies, and I'm like just coming up. I'm like thinking, and I'm like kind of big, I guess. I'm thinking, this guy would blow my doors off if he ever got in shape.
Yeah, because he had all the, you know what, you know whose physique he had a physique like? See if you can guess.
I said Rory Liedermeyer, but...
No. Keep fast forward another 20 years.
Who, Bob
He had
Harris?
a rodent physique.
Oh,
no, he had a rodent
yeah,
physique.
you're right. He did. Yeah, he's got a small waist, yeah.
Small waist, broad shoulders, but not, just...
He had good calves, too. Big calves.
Yeah, tremendous
big
calves. I used to think they were implants.
Yeah, what if... That's another guy like waste of talent, just crazy. Yeah, but the Dedication clothing line, they should have made a fortune on that. They should have sold that to another company.
Did.
I don't think they were making money while they had it, but I think they got divorced, Miriam and Snake, and then Snake.
Then she took it over, I think.
She took it over. Yeah,
she still ran it for him.
She ran it. I don't think he was even really involved, but he was kind of the brains behind the designs. He used to design the clothing himself. He said he used to sew them himself, the prototypes. Yep. Because you couldn't make that stuff. I don't even know where he got it made, to be honest with you.
I think they made it
all
locally.
custom. It was all
I'm serious.
custom.
I think they made it locally in New York. I think
He probably
he was
went
a
into
designer,
Manhattan.
and I
Yeah.
think Miriam was a...
She was the brains.
No, she was a sewer, or
Oh, she
seamstress or
was.
something.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Interesting. See, guys, you got all this great history of
Yeah, but people
bodybuilding
won't know
world.
what dedication is. Dedication.
I'll guarantee you there's a lot of people who are listening know exactly what it was, but the new people won't. But it was a very unique clothing line, and if I didn't throw out all my old stuff,
Well, there were no clothing for bodybuilders to wear in the gym.
they were big. Yeah, they were big, oversized shirts on top, but they tapered at the bottom. Like he made them all. They weren't just like tents you put over yourself. These were like tapered shirts with good quality. They all had like a little unique color schemes to them, and they did a lot of black and white stuff. Like the sleeves would be black, the shirt would be white. They had the logo looked really cool. He was a very creative guy. He missed his calling. He should have been a clothing designer. Maybe he's doing that nowadays. I don't know where he is.
I don't know. Maybe he is.
I have to find him. He'd be a good interview too. I've been going through my past of all the people that I kind of ran into, and they kind of were positive influences. Because when you see a guy on a regular basis who's so muscular, and yeah, I'm reading the magazines and everything. I'm like, this guy is fucking great. I'm like, that was motivating to me. I would always ask him questions. He'd tell me stories, because guys like to talk about the stories. I'd ask him about his competing, and I got motivated by that. I was like, man, this guy's real. This guy's the real deal. And he's right here, and I'm sitting there bullshitting with him 20 times a day when I'm at the gym training and when I'm working at night. And, they sold a ton of clothing there, and they would be at every show. Every local,
Every New York,
tri-state
New
show.
Jersey show.
They were there with a booth, and they sold out of all the clothing every single time because there was no other options.
No.
Interesting.
And then people went to what? After that came Hutskins and Stridum's line, Crazy Wear.
But those clothing lines never had booths at shows. They were always at the shows, and I think because they were there, you just went and bought clothing. I mean, think about it. How many clothing companies actually work the shows nowadays? Except NPC Wear, obviously Rico. Rico is all over the place. No one works harder than Rico. He's all over the world. No matter where I go, I see Rico there.
Yeah.
I go to Romania, Rico's there. You go to FIBO, Rico's got a booth there. We go into Brazil, Rico's there.
What's funny? I was at a restaurant in Miami one time, and I coming out of the bathroom, and someone's coming into the bathroom, and I crashed right into his brother.
Oh, Rico's brother was there?
Yeah. And he looks at me like, They own
GNC's, the two of them, the brother and him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, they own a couple in Pittsburgh. I don't know if they still own them. But they
Hustlers.
Yeah, they work hard. I love guys that make a lot of money who work hard because I'm like, you know what? Those guys deserve it, man.
Well, I would. If you can find someone who makes a lot of money and doesn't work at all, please let me know. I guess that's the guy who wins the lottery.
Exactly.
Right? Because I want to copy the guy.
I've been watching these. I don't know if I know you like the real estate. I've been watching these it's called lottery. I don't know.
Yeah.
You win the lottery, and then the guy takes you and you buy houses. With the money you make. These people are so stupid. These guys, they win $1 million and they go buy like a $600,000 house. I'm like, they had to have lost at least $200-300 in taxes of the $1 million that they won, right? And there's got to be maintenance and real estate taxes. These people, they didn't have great jobs. I'm like, how the hell are they going to afford this house? They're going to lose it in 6 months.
When they lose it in 3?
Who knows? They don't tell you afterwards how long it takes to lose it. But I'm like, there's no way these people are keeping this house, but it's funny. But some of the people win like a lot of money. It's funny. The people who win the most, like they win $20 million. They're like, yeah, I don't want to spend more than $500,000. I'm like, now that's a smart fucking guy. Those people are smart.
Someone just told me the other day. Someone who I know, and I'm sure listening to the show, said, he said we, him included. He said we just spend in proportion to how much we make.
It's true. It's really true.
When I was making, he went through the whole thing. When I was making 50, I spent this. When I was making 100, I spent this. When I was making 200, I spent this. When I was making 400, he says I was better off making 50 and saving what I was saving.
Yeah, exactly. You save the same amount. You put the same amount. You just have more stuff. That's all. When you're making more money. Yeah. I was talking about Aaron about that. I said, is it amazing? Think about it. If you all the stuff that you really don't need, if you really just get rid of it, and you add up how much that adds up to, it's like a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
But you know what? It makes us happy, so we buy it, right?
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Even you broke down and bought a new car this year. So.
No, I bought a used car.
Oh, but you still bought it. You bought something new.
Well, only because my lease was up.
Oh, you had to.
I was forced to.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you broke down and you actually got a nice. You went and bought a nice car for yourself, even though you deserve it.
I could never do that.
Your kids must tell people like, "Oh yeah, we're poor. We can't really afford to buy a new." Everyone else in you probably make 100 times more than these other kids in school's parents, and your kids are like, "Yeah, we had to buy a used car because we can't really afford to buy a new one."
Well, you know how cars are. They eventually they go down. You know, it's so funny, right? They go down to nothing.
Yeah, that's why I lease, because I figure fucking take it back.
No, it's good. I always think leases are. It's not. It breaks, you bring it back. You're always driving it.
I don't know why you don't lease, because you have a business to write it off. I don't get it.
Because I try to like calculate, okay, how many years can I get out of this car and blah blah blah.
Right, but if you lease it, you're not really paying for it anyway, because you're saving on taxes that your business would be paying anyway.
Yeah. Well, maybe I can bring my used car back to the used car lot and say, you know what?
I'm shocked your accountant didn't tell you.
My friend Dave told me I should put a pool in my backyard that I'll never use.
The pool will not. You can't write the pool off. That's for sure. That's a losing
right off
proposition.
Therapy.
Yeah, it's a losing proposition. Yeah, maybe it could be like
Sean
one of those
Roden
dogs.
And like, you know, I don't know.
Maybe Sean Roden could buy you a pool, and then he could write it off his taxes. That I had to get it for my coach because he has to be calm so that he can help coach me better for the Olympia wins. You know. He could save on some of his taxes because I'm sure he got a nice fucking tax bill after winning $400,000.
Sure, right?
That's a. I hope he paid his taxes.
Well, he lives in California. What's state income tax in California? It's like New York, right?
He probably had to pay 40%. If he had a good accountant, he probably had to pay 35% maybe on that. But that's a lot. 40% on $400,000 is a lot of money you got to give back.
60.
Yeah. So
let's see. California state income tax is 13.3%. Is that can't be?
No, that's you're talking
that's
about
corporate tax, right?
Yeah, that's not income.
California income tax.
Well, that's the state tax, but there's federal too. You got to pay federal. Federal is where you pay most of it.
I know, but some states like Florida, you have no income tax.
No, we have no income tax, which is great. But I'm wondering if you win it in Vegas, do you have to pay Vegas state tax? Or you pay
no, you have to pay.
Oh, okay.
No. It's just like that con job when people say, "Oh yeah, come to come to England and do the UK tour, and you don't have to pay taxes." I said, "Yeah, right. We'll see about that. Of course you do. It's income. It doesn't. It's your income tax. It's not a local."
Exactly. Although if you go and work then like a show there and you sell product at a booth, you have to pay Vegas state tax on that. Did you know that?
Say that again?
Like if you went to the Olympia and you worked the expo and you sold 1,000 T-shirts there, you have to pay tax on that. You have to pay the state tax on that. It's because you made income.
You mean you have to pay the state of Nevada?
Nevada, you got to pay them income tax, right? On
that.
that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can if they catch you. They make you fill out these forms when you get these booths, so that you're supposed to report how much you make. Obviously, if you run credit cards, you really can't hide that. But if you make cash, you can hide it, I guess. But you should be paying some kind of income tax, so they can get you. They may not catch you, but if they do, you're screwed.
Yeah, then they throw on the penalties and the late fees, and $1 becomes like 10.
Exactly. All right, I know everyone's enjoying this. They're like, do more. We're doing cardio. We have another 20 minutes left where we can get 2 sessions out of this. This was a long show. We went over an hour and a half.
Well, we can base shows on how many calories this show burned.
That's right. As we get closer to the Arnold, we can up the show duration since people have more cardio to do. And we want to make sure that everyone has something to listen to, even if it's frivolous and it's crap. But I think that people like the old history stuff. They like when we talk about science and information. I thought I had an article and I can't find it.
What about a quote? I think I should have a quote of the week that I can last my week in the snow. We're having a big snowstorm today.
You are. We're having a rainstorm. It's 80 degrees. It was 78 degrees here today. So.
Poor you.
Yeah. So what's your quote of the week?
No, I was asking you. You're the king of quotes.
Is there a winter quote?
Well, Muhammad Ali's
Move to-
birthday Muhammad Ali's birthday just went by, right?
I didn't know that.
It was on the 17th.
January 17th. Huh. Didn't know.
He had a lot of very good quotes.
Here's a quote. How about a Muhammad Ali vote quote? I googled quote and Muhammad Ali quote came up. So I'll give
I know
you
one of his. You know what? He has some great training quotes.
I'm going to give you the Muhammad Ali
Great.
quote of the week, so that people can be motivated to get into the gym and train. And it's a more creative quote. The quote is, "The man who has no imagination has no wings." So, I love it. If you're not creative, you're never going to fly. You're never going to do anything special. And so use that imagination. Don't be afraid to embrace your ideas, even if you think that other people won't agree with them. It doesn't matter, because those ideas have wings and they have a way of flying and taking you to places you never imagined. And on that note, we're out of time. Until next week, remember, with Heavy Muscle Radio,
The truth hurts.
good night, everyone.
Did you get